Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Weekday Wagers. It is Monday, Cinco de Mayo, Revenge of the 5th. We have it all here. And as I am figuring out what is happening with audio, let's get this up. What? Give me one second. Well, I'm waiting for that. Let's bring in our buddy, Robby. I don't know what it is, but there's always some sort of um,
Oh no,
So,
you
how
sounded
is
good
your
in the
Monday
green room,
going?
man.
Let's start with that. And yes, what is the word for this Monday?
My word this Monday morning is exciting because we had two exciting game sevens. You couldn't have scripted them any better. You had Miko Mania and Dallas coming in clutch with 3 goals and assists. And then last night, thought I was going to get to go to sleep early. Nah, that ain't happening. Not in my house. So Winnipeg sends it to overtime. I knew there would be a second overtime because, life. And of course, it goes to a second overtime. Winnipeg gets it done. And guess what? Now you get the Dallas Stars, who should get everybody back and healthy for this series.
I loved it. What a crazy game! I was telling you just before we came on the air when I had the audio figured out and it sounded fine. That I ended up falling asleep and then waking up just in time to see the Blues give up that lead, and then I was wide awake for the next two overtimes. So it was almost like I got a full game of hockey in to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just I couldn't believe they couldn't close that one out, and they were so close. So kudos to Winnipeg for moving on. But my word for today is housekeeping, house cleaning, if you will. You can't start a sweep without the first game. And that's right. We have got Toronto hosting defending Stanley Cup champions, Florida Panthers. I am so looking forward to this game, not just because there was a lot of smack talk that went around on Friday during our weekend wagers show, but because this is going to be such a great series. It's going to be a short series, obviously, for Toronto, but it's going to be a great series. And I will not be falling asleep and waking up for this one. I will be awake. I'll be watching it from puck drop to finish, because it's only going to take 60 minutes for the Panthers to destroy Toronto in Toronto tonight and get this thing started right. But so yeah, there's that.
I should have known it was just going to keep going on. I love it though. I'm here for it. And all smack talk is welcome. By the way, there's no look. I can take it as good as I can dish it, and I know you can too. So feel free, man. It's all good fun. I like it.
Speaking of which, somebody thinks they're going to be getting a hat and 3 months membership tonight. But yeah, no. Yeah, see, you gotta love them.
Yep.
Gotta love them. The diehards, and it's the diehards that just they y'all drank the maple leaf syrup soup. That's what you drank, and it's unfortunately it stops in Florida. It's your hockey.
Dallas Cowboy syndrome. It's the Dallas Cowboy syndrome.
Hockey should have stopped for Toronto in April. It got extended miraculously, but it's not going beyond May.
I can say this because I'm a Cowboys fan. This feels like any year Dallas has any hopes. And I know we got out of the first round, I think it was a few years ago. And then we had Green Bay. And I already knew. I didn't even think we would beat Green Bay. I was like, we're going to choke this out. It's just the Dallas way. I'm sorry, Toronto. You can just sit on the bus with me on the Dallas bandwagon because it's the same team, different field, different ice. I mean, but they mirror each other so well. Like it's kind of crazy.
It is. In fact, both of their colors involve blue. There's got to be something there. Maybe it's a DNA thing. Who knows? Whatever it is. But listen, before we jump into the picks, there is some baseball being played, and that whole no-run first inning, it's been kind of, I want to say, challenging, because it seems like you can match up a team with a pitcher who has been dynamite, and for whatever reason, 28 pitches later into the first inning, they're giving up a 3-run dinger or walking across the first inning run. So I did put something together for today. It's a little bit different. We're going to go with the 2-team no-run first inning. I got this at -116. I know it's not as sexy and juicy as a 3-teamer. right now, I'm looking just to cash this and be like, okay, let's get our, it begins with one, kind of like Florida tonight. It begins with one. So I'm taking the Washington Nationals and the Yankees not to score a run in the first inning. And look, starting with DC, the Nationals are trotting out a lineup that's been allergic to early offense. They're averaging just 4.3 runs a game, but in the first inning, practically non-existent. They've been blanked in 7 of their last 8 first innings. And tonight they faced Luis L. Ortiz, because you got to have the L in there, who, despite his flaws, he's held first inning damage to an absolute minimum this season, thanks to a soft contact rate and a Nationals team that cannot hit velocity early. I love this spot to target the Nationals. Go over to the Bronx, where the Yanks are facing Nick Pivetta, their old Boston Red Sox nemesis, who's rocking a 1.17 ERA in his new digs. Apparently the SoCal weather's doing well for Pivetta, because he's been downright surgical in the first. New York may average 5.5 runs a game, but they start slow. Just 0.38 runs in the first at home this season. And with the wind blowing in, Pivetta pounding the zone, I don't expect fireworks early. Like I said, minus 116 is not as sexy as a plus money play, but I'll take it to get this night started. What do you think?
I like it. There's one caveat on the Yankees game. Nick Pivetta, I saw a lot of Nick Pivetta games because he did play for Boston, and I saw a lot of Aaron Judge home runs, it felt like, on Nick Pivetta as well. But I did see today that Aaron Judge has only hit 4 home runs at night. So maybe if he does hit a home run, he does that in the second at bat, not the first, and you cash your ticket. But I just wanted to add that in there.
Yeah, I don't know why you're throwing bad karma on this already. I was feeling really good about this pick until you threw that.
I'm just trying to be the voice of reason. That is all.
All right, fair enough. Well, listen, Mr. Reason, why don't you give us the reason for your pick tonight? What do you want?
And my reason is, if you all followed me last year, I had a little play called The Book of Sam, involving Sam Bennett and Sam Reinhart. Well, tonight, we only need one half of that book to cash, and that's Sam Bennett for a point at plus 100. Look, playoff Sam has already been activated. He's hit this in 4 of his last 5 games in the playoffs, and he's gone over in 5 straight versus Toronto with 5 goals and 3 assists in that span. If you want to play his anytime goal, I got that at plus 270 today as well. Really like Sam Bennett tonight.
Excellent. I love that spot. I am going to OKC. Let's go to a little NBA action. I'm going to take the Thunder team total over 117.5 at minus 120. Get on this because it's already starting to move. I talked about this play earlier today on the Coaching Company show this morning in the chat, and the line was moving with a couple of books already to 118. In most places, it's already moved to 118, if not 118.5. So if you can still find it, DraftKings is where I just saw it at 117.5. Get over there, grab this line. It's moving up. So I love this spot for OKC because in what is supposed to be a blowout, this offense does not have a brake pedal. They don't know how to slow it down. They have 2 speeds. Game time, off day. That's it. And game time means that they're putting up points, and they're putting up points faster than any other team in the league has done this season. Denver can run with them. Denver's a team that can get out and push and run. Whether you want to attribute it to the conditioning that takes place at a mile-high stadium where they train and they develop a lung capacity, that is something that's very real. And then they go down to a lower elevation and they can run all day long and go. Then, yeah, I think that this is a spot where OKC wins the game. I think the covering 9.5 is a lot. I love the over in general. However, what scares me from the total is a Denver team that is coming off with some really tired legs. They just went 7 games against the Clippers. I love this spot for a young, fresh OKC team to come out and just blow the doors off the barn here in this one. So OKC team total over 117.5 at minus 120. Any thoughts on that, Rob?
I just want Denver to keep winning because I found out Saturday that I placed a Denver future for them to win the Western Conference and to win the NBA championship sometime back in November. Who knows what I was doing with my life in November, but apparently I have 2 of those tickets out. So Hope you cash your play, but I really want Denver to keep winning. So
there you go. There you go. And as just a PSA friendly reminder, go ahead and comb through your books and make sure that you've got all your plays that are optioned out still, available, and you know what's coming up, and keep track of things like that.
Yeah.
That brings us to our Monday Daily Dinger. And we have got, I think, this is probably one of the chalkiest boards I've seen since we've been doing it. And granted, we've been only doing this since Saturday. I just looked down and saw Joe's comment about Saturday. For the last couple of weeks, the Daily Dinger, nobody hit Saturday for between you, me, and DG, but I believe we had a saloon entry, didn't we?
Preston got in the saloon with his plus 1,700. He had Matt Chapman, and I can't remember the other ones. I'm drawing a blank, but he did have Matt Chapman because I remember he texted me as soon as it hit.
Wow. Well, congratulations, Boom Boom. We will have that mug, and we'll tell Joe to scoot his ass over, make room for you at the bar. But off this list here, Robbie, Aaron Judge, Ohtani, Alonso, Juan Soto, Sean Murphy. Who do you like and why?
Yeah, I haven't seen this much chalk on the board since I was in preschool. But, yeah, I'm going to go Ohtani because that's my guy. He cashed for me Saturday night, even though it was not an official play here. I had got it at plus 300. Actually, Boom Boom had bet him Friday, and he let him down. So that was my reasoning. He was going to hit on the next day. Ohtani's mine, Boom Boom. He's not yours. We're just going to keep it at that. But he has 8 home runs this season, and it seems like he's starting to heat back up after his wife had their child. So 6 plate appearances, 1 hit, 1 home run versus Sandy Alcantara, and he's got 2 home runs in his last 5 games. So go ahead and give me Ohtani. I'll take the chalk on that one.
I like it. And I'm also targeting a guy, Big Pete, the polar bear himself, on the right-hand side of that graphic. Pete Alonso to go yard for plus 330. He is facing Ryan Nelson of the Diamondbacks. He's faced him 9 times. Out of those 9 at-bats, he's got 4 hits, 3 home runs off the right. He is dialed in. I love this spot for the Bear. If you've been watching us, you already know we're going to have to rename this just to call this the Mark Home Run segment, because I seem to be the whisperer on this one. So Alonso, and I know that, Robbie, you liked Alonso as well. And so it was kind of a, well, who called him first situation.
It was honestly, it was just because I know Ohtani better than anybody. So I took Ohtani.
There you go.
He never lets me down.
There you go. And we've got
Sean Murphy. Yeah, for the Atlanta Braves.
Dan Clark is going. So we're going Sean Murphy at plus 600 for Dan. I like it. If there's anybody else with their pick on the board, off the board, throw it in here. This doesn't get you into the saloon, but it does give you bragging rights.
Especially if you get one over me tonight.
Ask me. Trust me. I've been milking this for all it's worth. Robbie, that's going to wrap it up for us. What do you have? Any last thoughts? Anything that you're looking at for this Monday night?
Yeah, it's definitely Panthers and Maple Leafs. I think, honestly, Florida's going to get a better competition level than what they saw with Tampa Bay. I know it's hard considering how stacked Tampa Bay was, especially after the trade deadline. But I do think Toronto, as they're playing right now, is a better team than Tampa Bay. So I think we're in for a good game tonight, especially it being in Toronto as well. So, yeah, nothing but Monday Night Raw and a little bit of hockey is all I got on my schedule tonight.
Interesting. And likewise, I think that, and I see it a little bit differently. I think that Tampa Bay was a better team going into the playoffs than Toronto was. I think that we saw Tampa fold, and Toronto we saw starting to have those, playoff ghosts reappear, if you will, after going up 3-0. So I'm not sure who's the better team to face Florida. I just know that Florida is the better team facing either one of those two teams. So I am looking forward to this series, especially for tonight, because again, you can't start a sweep without winning the first one, and that's what tonight's all about. But that being said, that has been our Monday Weekday Wagers. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 3:00. I believe it's going to be you and me again. tomorrow
Yep.
at 3, right? So to be back again, DG is off getting some other stuff done. I don't know what he's involved in at this point. So, to be Rob and I again tomorrow afternoon at 3. And until then, hey, be kind to one another. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. And we will see you tomorrow.